Hi, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really delighted to be talking to Andrew Cann, who's Director at Planning Direct today. Hello, Andrew. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Ruth. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. We're busy as always, but I managed to find a little bit of time to help you out, of course.
Oh, that's brilliant. So pleased. Tell us all a bit about what Planning Direct does.
Well, Planning Direct is a planning consultancy, and what that is it's a business where we help two different types of client. One, the professionals like architects and developers, and others like, man in the streets, people have got their own homes, and we help them get planning permission. That's either by applying for, an extension to somebody's house, or a new house, or loads of houses, or factories, or whatever. And so we liaise between those people, our clients, and councils.
So really diverse sorts of clients, and I guess the people that work for you have different sorts of skills as well. Would you talk us through what they are?
They've got a variety of different backgrounds. You can ask me about that in a moment if you want. But the skill set basically is very strong written and verbal communication skills.
Okay.
And very strong on logical reasoning. So
right.
They need to be able to deal with the meaning of words. Why do we say things in certain ways? Why do councils have rules, and what do these rules actually mean? And how can we either comply with those rules or get around them?
I love that. And so
it suits people that like puzzles. Really.
Wow, that's really interesting, and I love that whole sort of almost like that creative aspect about the sort of understanding of words and how to solve problems. What sort of different jobs do people do with you?
The core job is a planning consultant, and that's dealing with mainly paperwork, writing reports, reading them, understanding what needs to be done. But within that, and increasingly, we're getting into other things. So in order to get some planning applications through, you might need to do a flood risk assessment. We do that. Biodiversity, we do that. We're taking a lady on in the summer who's going to be doing our arbor work, meaning arboricultural, meaning trees. Also ecology, she's going to be doing that. We have our own landscape designer, and we're not an architectural firm. Architecture is a protected profession, but we have people that do architectural drawings and also building control and regulations. So we build things that are correct, that will stand the test of time, that are safe, and also provide the instructions to builders to show them exactly how they should be built. How wide does this have to be? How much insulation should there be, and so on. So it's quite complex, and it's quite complex considering it's quite a small team.
It sounds quite complex from all the sorts of different jobs. So when you're looking for sort of entry level roles, see, like you said good written and verbal skills, good logical reasoning skills. Are there any other sorts of skills, like softer skills, that are sort of helpful for people to have as well?
We look for people that want to look after their own baby. I think, take account, be responsible. So they will start with us with literally only those skills, perhaps some computer skills. Of course, everybody's got those nowadays, apart from me. It turns out. But and then take from that position where we will help them develop everything else. But there's an awful lot in order for us to work, and in order for our environment to work. We need people to take a challenge, a client's job, make it theirs, and then want to win it and win for the client and whatever, and as much as possible and as quickly as possible actually do it themselves. So I'm a great believer in getting on the bike and riding it, and once you can ride it, get on a bigger bike and then go for that. So it's not a job environment where we give much continuing instruction.
So that sense of somebody who can take information on board, interpret it, be creative about how they solve problems. And it sounds like you work as part of quite a close team as well. So being able to kind of collaborate as well with your colleagues.
It's really nice because we all get on really well. Frankly, if we didn't, it wouldn't work. We spend a lot of social time together. And so, it's quite friendly. It's not to say there aren't occasional little problems and things that have been ironed out, but we do that with a smile on our face.
Oh, I like that ethos a lot. What do you how did you sort of end up in this kind of environment? Because you've obviously been really entrepreneurial, setting up your own business.
I've had a funny career, really. So I did a few sort of, well, this would be interesting for your, the people watching this. I mean, I did a few jobs that didn't really amount to a great deal, but I turned up, I did them, I developed them, I came up with some ideas about how I wanted to improve things and whatever, and they let like a boss, they let you do some things and not others. That's cool. But my first job, well, my first job was actually paperwork technically, but my first job was like an accounts assistant, £6,000 a year, in a company called Tolly Cobbold. It's long gone now, but I used to just put data into a computer from some forms, and then I could do that quite quickly, so I had spare hours in the day and spent it looking at other things. And I guess in many ways that's how things are developed. So I then applied to work as a graduate trainee at a company called Hutchison Whampoa,
right,
which is Hong Kong Chinese, and then quite quickly ended up, I think at 24 I had 650 staff working for me.
Wow.
And I used to go to Hong Kong and whatever, but then,
gosh,
and that's truly scary, but you just get on with it, right? And the important thing I think in that is that if you can show application and that you're a safe pair of hands and that you'll think about things and do things carefully, then you with the right type of environment you can be promoted and whatever, and that's what happened there. And if you're in an environment where you're allowed to make mistakes. Yeah. I mean, I made a mistake there where it cost the company £180,000.
Oh no.
No, I've been there a few years. And I'd saved them a lot of money and whatever. And my boss, I mean, I was as white as a sheep when I found out. It was about a ship and the business lot, whatever. White as a sheep when I found out. And he said, "Why don't you go home and play golf and then come back tomorrow?" Which was exactly the right response.
Yeah.
So, like, go away. You're clearly upset about this, which is the right response. You should have been.
Yeah.
Come back. It's all forgiven. But anyway, so I was with them for 16 years. I did lots of different jobs. The last job was getting planning permission for some quite big things. So, for instance, a railway line and whatever. And then after 16 years, it was time to move on. So I guess I was about 38, 39. I asked for redundancy. I was given redundancy, and I set this firm up, and it was just me. Wow.
And now there's a few of you.
Yeah, but it's literally because I didn't really know anything else to do. So I thought, well, the last thing I've done is a bit of planning or, big sort of Tonka toy things. I'll give that a go.
Oh my gosh, I love that sort of entrepreneurial spirit of like, yeah, I can do a bit of that. I'm going to give that a try.
Well, yeah, it doesn't always work out for everybody. I mean, it's there's some judgment in it, but also a bit of luck. I got quite a big client quite quickly. But then, I'm a great believer that if you've got a bit of talent and a bit of energy, try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. And then keep trying something until you find something you enjoy.
Oh, totally. And I was going to say, really, that if you were to sort of go back and have a conversation with sort of young Andrew starting out on his career, age sort of however old, what sort of bit of careers advice would you give yourself, do you think?
Always show what you can do and try and do something more than what you can do. Stretch yourself. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Because if you don't try, how do you know? How do you know if A, you can do something, or B, if it's something you like? Because I think we were talking the other day and the same way, did you know what you want to do when you were like 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Yeah. I still don't know what I want to do now. Yeah. And that goes for business life and home life, So I started sailing, for instance. I had no idea whether I would like doing it or not. I tried it, gave it a go, really love it. Tried flying. I'm a natural, apparently.
Oh wow!
No, but it's only because they're trying to sell me more lessons, right? But And then I thought, oh, well, I've done that. That's a bit, didn't really float my boat, so to speak. So back to the boats.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same with work. You can do loads of things, absolutely loads of things, but try them out, because you don't try, you don't know.
Oh, I love that message. The important thing is to start.
Yeah. But what I will also say in terms of, well, you probably come on to this anyway, so forgive me, but what do employers look for?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look for people who work for a start, not ones that don't work. Even if it's, paper rounds, flipping burgers, being on a till in a shop, it's all good experience. But somebody who doesn't do anything, you're not showing anything, are you?
Yeah.
So doing that, go and work for McDonald's, you're showing that you can get up in the morning, go and do some work. You might not think it's very complicated, but actually it probably is.
Yeah.
And do it with a bit of pride, and then look for the next job and the next job and the next job. Unless you just like flipping burgers, there's nothing wrong with that.
Andrew, I just think that's a brilliant message, and I love your energy and enthusiasm there about like everything that you've done and your approach to it. I just think that's really, really positive to hear.
Well, that's very kind.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to speak to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ruth. All right, bye-bye then.